Okay, hi guys. I'm Izzy, and today I'm joined again with Susan, Sarah, and Carl. And today we're talking a little bit about self-care. I'm going to ask you all what self-care means to you. For me, I think it's the practice of doing things for our health and our well-being. Even if this is just kind of taking time for yourself, recharging, and kind of taking a step back and really doing things for yourself. And this can help improve our self-esteem and really maybe bring balance into our lives. So Sarah, do you like to go first? Explain
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, sure. So I'm totally in agreement with you. I think self care is anything that you do to take care of yourself for optimum happiness and optimum health. So whether that's food, exercise, hygiene, socializing, having fun, which is very important, and also relaxing. So I guess you could split that up into stuff you do physically, stuff you do for your well-being, mental well-being, your emotional state, and spirituality. So there's loads of things there that you could dive into depending on what you need at the time. Sometimes, at the moment we might be wanting to try and stimulate our bodies just by moving and going for a walk. So I guess that's the physical, isn't it? And if you happen to meet somebody on the street or when you're walking your dog and you have a natter, that's socializing, which is, as we've talked about before, is really, really important. So yeah, self-care is imperative.
Yeah.
So people can do different things each day. So what about you, Carl? What are you doing at the moment that you shared with us just previous before you came on that's really a good idea?
So the first thing I've done is, to me, self-care is taking time to recognise your own personal mental needs and wants and give yourself space to kind of recharge your batteries. So thing I did today consciously, I'm coming to the show tonight courtesy of my phone because I usually use my laptop, but I made a conscious decision. I'm powering my laptop down and it's not going to be switched on again till Monday morning. And that's my way of giving myself a reset over the weekend.
Yeah, that's perfect because we use them too much, don't we, sometimes?
It could just be anything. Like you find a scrap of paper with something written on it, and before you know it, you're researching it, and
Yeah.
it, perhaps it's just me.
No.
But I'll see something and I'll get an idea in my head, and I think, oh, I'll just go on the laptop, and before you know it, you've lost 2 hours sending an email or something like that.
Going down
Like
a
a rabbit hole.
Yeah. You can really get lost in it.
Yeah. What about you, Suze?
Yeah, well, of course, self-care is top of my list, and in for so many reasons. I think having health as my number one value, it's something that I learned the hard way 20 odd years ago, that I could actually really determine my health. And when all's said and done, it was me that was making poor decisions and doing far too much, and really it's a form of self-abuse when we neglect our own needs. And certainly I thought I was Superwoman or Wonder Woman, or
I still think you are.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you, guys. Oh dear. But there's a balance, isn't there? There's such a need to recognise when you're crossing the line and you're pushing at the boundaries. And the reason for that is, as I found out to my cost 20 years ago, that your world can just collapse, can implode. when you've overdone it, and your body and your mind says no more. And it's that classic overwhelm and burnout. So it was a very important lesson for me, which really has dictated how, you know, the rest of my life, and so I've committed since then to learning how I can better look after myself, because I was in no position then to look after my family, you know, to care for them, because I'd overdone it. And you know, when we're in that sort of frame of mind, it's it's a bit of a wake-up call when you suddenly realize that as much as you want to help your family and everybody else, you're in no position to. So I totally drained my battery, and so it's a big motivator for me to ensure that I continue to walk my walk and walk my talk, and talk the talk.
Yeah, I think it's important as well that you use the word realised, and so did Carl earlier. You know, when you make that conscious decision, because you become aware of something. So it could be a trigger, it could be how you feel, how your emotional state is, or if you feel a bit ill or not quite 100%. And sometimes we leave that for so long, or we forget to read the signs because we're so busy. And I think it's realising that you need some self-care is the most important thing, because we get really busy, don't we? We get really distracted in life and looking after other people. And yeah, I think realising is the key word there, to saying, I've had enough, I need to do something now. And that's what you've done, Carl. You've decided, you made a conscious effort, conscious decision, no laptop.
So it's kind of like a lesson learned, because a number of years ago I had what I can only describe as a mental breakdown, and I think largely that was brought on by a culmination of things getting on top of me. So now just self-care is the little things that you do in the day. Well, it is for me anyway. So it could be taking time out to sit and listen to some music in lunch, and actually having a lunch break rather than pushing on, because it's so easy for your diary to just get filled up that I actually put twice a week in my diary out running, and I switch my computer off and I go out for a run twice a week, or I'll sit down on the sofa, because I'm working from home at the minute. I'll sit on the sofa and just listen to some rubbish music for half hour, just to give me a chance to recharge, because I notice on the days when I don't do that, by the end of the day, I'm mentally wiped out. I can describe it as a brain fog, where you've just got so much flying around your head. You just need to take time out. Just having a walk with the kids and the dog and family. It's so important to take time out for yourself. I bet you're finding this with your studies, and the intern work that you're doing for IFA, you can't keep doing everything 100% all the time. You need to take time out. I mean, how does it affect you?
Yeah, well, I agree. Like it's similar to me. I try not to let it all get on top of me. So I'll really recognize I need to take, even I'm now like I've started to go on walks in the mornings. So I'll go on a walk in the morning, then plan my day out, and then take those rest breaks where I need to. So I think, that really helps me kind of manage my schedule, getting in a routine. And, some days I might feel I'm more tired than others, so I'll cut down my workload. Yeah.
It's always difficult when you've got lecturers sticking deadlines on you, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Keeps you on your toes. I tell you what I like to do as well. I mean, because fun's really important, isn't it? I mean, we've got the seriousness of life, but, you can't beat a bit of fun or a bit of a routine. And sometimes we've all got these nice little rituals we do in the morning or we do, at night time. But it's like, take for instance, like on a Friday night in our house, it's movie night, right? Where we watch a film, we have the rubbish, we eat the rubbish, I'll have a gin and tonic, we get our comfies on, or we should do this every night, really. I don't know why we just keep it for Friday night, but that's just the way it's happened because, it's school and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think just allocating a time a week, whether it's Carl's running or Izzy's going out or Susan's getting out in the garden, or, you walk the dogs daily, but, there's little things that we all have that make us really happy. And I think it's really good, or it's a good idea, I think, to have those little things because they make us happy and then you get to look forward to them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if you guys have a particular thing that you do on a certain day. We shouldn't really have to have a certain day, should we? We should be doing all these things all the time. But there's something special about a Friday night in our house, I tell you. And we just get really lazy and we just get our comfies on and it's just nice. And yeah, I just thought I'd share that because I look forward to it every week.
What film is it tonight?
Well, I would really like to watch Bridget Jones, but my son, who's 11, doesn't want to watch that.
No surprise there then, Sarah.
Yeah, so we'll have to find, it'll probably be a Marvel something or whatever. So he's just telling me now, I'm 12 nearly. Sorry, Jay.
I was going to say that's similar to me when I used to live back at home. I'd kind of look forward to Friday night. We'd all get together as family, watch Gogglebox or something like that. And it would be like my treat day where we'd get a takeaway, eat chocolate, stuff like that. And then, so looking forward to days like that.
Yeah, I like a bit of Gogglebox myself. It doesn't half make me laugh.
Goodness, yeah.
My mate's on Gogglebox.
Is he? Cool. So what are you going to do tonight then? Carl, what are you going to do tonight?
Tonight we've got no kids tonight, so we're going to watch The Dig on Netflix.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's I think it's one of them, take your brain out, just put it on the side, chill out, sit and cuddle up on the sofa, have a glass of wine and just chill. I think it'll be really nice. I think tomorrow, when the kids are here, it'll be watching an action movie of some sort, Marvel or something like that. But I'll tell you what, the other thing that I like to do that keeps me relaxed is football. Football's a big part of my life. And if I've had a hard day, nothing relaxes me more than kicking off my slippers and sitting and just watching a football match. I don't have to think, don't have to process any information. I just sit there and I just watch it. And I find that really relaxing.
Yeah. You can appreciate it, can't you? You can appreciate the art of it.
Yeah, I love it. It's something I do a lot. But I mean, Susan, how do you find? When you're getting in the position, not as bad as you were previously, but as you can feel yourself getting towards there, do you ever get to the point where you feel as though, right, I need to switch off now and consciously switch off before something?
Yeah, I think that's the key to it, Carl, is to, as Sarah was talking about earlier, to be in a state of awareness of being tuned into your body, really, because your body's messaging you all the time. It's and what we tend to do is we ignore the signs, and they can be subtle, but of course the body starts to instead of whispering, it starts to shout at you. And until you really take notice. And so the clue really is to become responsive to those signs, so that you can check in. You know, what are you overdoing? What can you do differently? And so that you literally don't have to go there. You know, that's ridiculous, allowing yourself to get to that state of being, which is so much more difficult to then remedy, rather than just balancing it and honoring what you do in life, the choices that you make. So what I do is I put in my schedule regular breaks, so that, because my tendency, I'm what they classify as an A-type personality, which means that I get something in between my teeth and I will just stay with it, which could be, you know, doing something on the computer, and I won't look up, take a breath, or, you know, so I've got to literally have a bell to remind me to pause, to stand up, to breathe, to move, because it's just not healthy to stay in one position. But, you know, we get so absorbed with the things that we're passionate about. So yeah, it's things like that are put in place, Carl.
See, I found it really difficult during lockdown because I'm stuck working from home. This desk where I'm sat now is pretty much, I get here at 7:30 in the morning, and my wife doesn't get home from work till about 6 o'clock. I don't see anybody. And it's not like where you're at work and you're in the office, you can go to the kettle and have a chat over a cup of tea. There's no one to chat to other than my dog. And he only start to worry when he starts talking back at me. And it's one of those things, having to force myself, because I'm, by the sound of it, like you, this A-type, where you just get something between teeth, go at it, and you don't stop until you've done it. And it's breaking off from there and learning that you need to take time. Take time. I don't have a bell, but I do take time.
Yeah, I think giving ourselves permission is important. We think we have to do stuff, and we think we have to do this and we have to do that, and you don't. To be honest, unless you've got something that needs doing tomorrow and you've not started it, then there's sort of a time thing there. But then that might be to do with planning your time better in the future. So I think it's permission to sometimes give yourself rest. You know, when you need to push on, because what's the stats saying? You can't give from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Because you're not gonna, you can't give from an empty cup.
Oh, right.
You see what I mean? So if you do push on sometimes, like if I used to be, you see, at uni, I was a bit of a last minute Nelly. So I would be writing my essays, finishing it sort of the night before. I've learned since then not to do it. Although I've got to say some of it was my best work. Because when you're in the flow, you just get out there. Do you know what I mean? But as with wisdom and age, I've learned to do it in chunks. I chunk it now, because I don't like feeling that sense of urgency. I don't like it anymore. And you know, I'd pull an all-nighter sometimes just to get stuff done. And you know, it might be brilliant, but I'll be knackered. So
yeah, those regular breaks, it sort of goes against the grain, and especially if you are on a deadline. You know, the number of people that I come across who keep pushing on, and yet actually the best thing that anyone can do is just take a few moments, just stop, take a few quality moments and literally disconnect from your computer, your laptop, and you won't lose the flow. In fact, you'll enhance the flow just by giving yourself that self-care moment. And there is a message, you're sending a message to your body and mind that you are worth it.
Mm.
And you know, it's amazing what a difference that makes to your productivity, somewhat strangely.
Yeah, I've definitely learnt the hard way and come to realise that. So do it now, Izzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there, yeah.
Otherwise you get bad habits like me.
No, I've definitely been there, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Chris Tipping says, hey Carl.
Hey,
He's got a
Carl.
groupie.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, that's cool. You've got a follower.
I was going to ask, do you guys think people are taking self-care more importantly now due to COVID?
They might not realise they are, but I think they are.
Yeah.
Because it's a buzzword, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's really good that it's putting the spotlight on personal health and wellness. And as I was mentioning right at the beginning, that actually, you know, it really is something that we can take responsibility for our own health. And those 4 key pillars that Sarah mentioned, you know, we can look at our lives through the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And it really helps to sort of break it down into those 4 sections, so you can check in as to how much time and energy you are investing into those 4 areas. And if you're not doing anything, or you're doing very little in one of those areas, and you're not feeling that brilliant, that could help you to consider what can you do differently to bring some energy into that. And it does enhance your life. It's amazing. So you know, we don't have to disempower ourselves and give our health to other people to sort out for us.
That's what you're doing when you. Sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly what you're doing when you burn the candle at both ends. Don't take your lunch break. Don't take time for yourself. You're giving your health to somebody else. Now, it could be in exchange for a number of different things. It could be in exchange for work deliverables. It could be in exchange for financial reasons. Whatever it is, your personal health has got to come first.
Yeah. Without it, you know, it affects everything in life, doesn't it? Literally.
Yeah.
Yes. So I see it as a good thing, Izzy. I do, and it's my message is, look, there's so much that we can do to help ourselves. Really, there is. You know, we humans are incredible. We're amazing. We have our own natural chemistry within us, which keeps us well, and actually, you know, we can enhance that and help ourselves, as Sarah was saying earlier about checking in with the food that we eat and the quality of the water and getting good quality sleep and managing all these things with that sense of attention on ensuring that it provides us with nourishment and yeah, good quality in all areas of life is what contributes to us feeling good in ourselves, about ourselves, and life in general. And that's self-care to me.
And being mindful of it.
Absolutely, yes.
I think you've just summed it up perfectly, ladies.
Oh, I'm excited now. It's Friday night.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. It's been great talking to you. Any questions you get, Chris Tipping, if you want to ask any more questions or get involved, get in touch. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's one more comment before we go. Dale Hudson says, thank you for sharing such advice. One day you'll tell your story of how you've overcome what you're going through right now, and it will become part of someone else's survival guide.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good point.
Comments.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and we've done 24 minutes. I'm going to stop.